I'm going to show you side by side which drugstore brands reign over each category in affordable makeup. Can you tell me which look is using high-end makeup versus affordable makeup? You'll be able to tell by the end of this video. I understand primers usually come first, but I do not normally use a primer on my lids, only on my face. Concealers and blush are probably my most picky. I have tried the e.l.f. concealer. I did not like it. I did not like the formula. I did not like the shade range. I want to say I tried ColourPop, which was random, which I shouldn't have tried. Even just looking at ColourPop's display, you could tell that they don't have a shade range. In terms of complexion products, it seems like it makes the most sense for me to go with a black-owned brand. I went with Juvia's Place 2 concealers in general. One brightening, one regular. Honestly, looks like a good shade for me. I will pull up the website because not all of the display cases show you neutral, warm, cool tones. So I'm just gonna look for that like deep neutral shade when I'm finding my shade online. There is a difference between fixing mist and setting mist, but you can use, I believe, fixing mist as both setting and fixing. When I apply the concealer, I don't wanna apply too much, otherwise it's going to crease. And if it is going to crease a bunch, then that means I immediately have to go in with some powder. That looks like a really nice blend compared to the Fenty Beauty one that I used for the more high-end makeup. I love how this blends out actually. It's a very natural finish, so it's giving that it's very suitable for normal, combo, oily, and dry skin. I can without a doubt tell you off rip that this is the best affordable concealer for at least deeper complexions that I have been able to find, that I have been able to use. I'm gonna let that sit a little bit on my face and see if it creases while we get into the next step. So when I do my makeup, I do complete my eyes first. I do make sure that this whole section is basically done. That way I don't have to go in and tidy anything. All I have to do is just like put some highlighter on the inner corner basically. In terms of affordable drugstore mascara, there are plenty of options. Actually, probably too many options of mascara. I believe there are 3 types of mascaras. You have the waterproof mascaras, you have tubing mascaras, and I think you just have like regular mascara. And I don't care either way about any of the formulas in my opinion. My favorite mascaras lately have been the e.l.f. Lash and Roll, which is, I believe, just a basic. And then I also like the e.l.f. Lash Extender, which has the green cap on it, which is a tubing mascara. So I'm a big fan of mascara combos. So I will go in with a lengthening mascara and then a thickening mascara. That way you can get a full effect on the lashes. I do know that some people love using older mascaras for their, like when they're a little bit dry as opposed to super wet. I'm not mad at it. So this is with the mascara and this is without. For a $6 mascara, I am not mad at this formula. I feel like this is great for every day. So I did do some research for you to find some mascaras that the girls are loving, some thickening, some lengthening ones. The COVERGIRL with the green or the orange lid. People, their stands for it. They love that mascara. The L'Oreal Telescopic paired with Maybelline Firework. I believe that is a lengthening, thickening combo as well. Bang mascara, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard or used of, is a really good lengthening mascara. And the Maybelline Sky High, which I'm not sure if it is a lengthening or a thickening one, but I do see a lot of positive reception online about the Maybelline Sky High mascara as well. Now let's get into some primers. I am not a big fan of primer in general, and e.l.f. has been the only primer that I have thoroughly enjoyed using in terms of how it makes my makeup look. I hate the formula in terms of consistency, the whole sticky primer and how they want like, oh, you put the primer and then you stick this to your face and now it's sticking. Like, I understand what you're trying to do and what you're trying to say, it's grippy, but like, baby, calm down. The sensory issue overload when it comes to this is very real, very severe. The way it works, very good. You can go in with any old brush to blend out your primers. I don't like feeling it on my fingers. So I'm just gonna dab it in. So in addition to adding like a setting spray, which is going to really lock in the makeup, I feel like a primer, it basically sets the foundation for the makeup to last in the first place. For someone, primers are probably going to be an absolutely necessary step. I only use primers to elevate and elongate my makeup. Let's get into the foundations now. There are so many out there, but make sure you're getting the one that's for your skin type, for the finish you want, because that's ultimately what you're looking for when you're buying these foundations in the first place. I personally love e.l.f. Liquid Filter, Halo Glow, whatever. This is a beautiful foundation, luminizer, whatever. I feel like this is really, really good. It's a great multi-purpose, like, complexion product. It's very buildable, but extremely glowy. I remember the first time I used this, I applied way too much and my face literally looked like a highlighter. But for someone, that might be exactly what you're looking for. Super affordable. It started at $10. I believe it's $14 now. I did pick up the L'Oreal Infallible, the 24 wear with SPF 25, and then I also picked up the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. So I believe the Infallible was more for a more fuller coverage, medium coverage, buildable, stuff like that, and I'm going to be using that today. I did want to mention the Maybelline Superstay because this, honestly, I was surprised by the formula. It seemed like very nice, very light. It does not have an SPF, but this, if you are looking for something more light, a bit more medium coverage, this is really, really good. People that really like skin tints, I like the dropper on this as well. I am going to be using this Pringle lid to put my foundation on because I forgot to shake it. Especially if your product has SPF in it, you need to shake it. Exactly. So I can actually show you the difference between when you shake versus when you don't. You may not be able to tell, but the one that's obviously spilling much faster is separated in the bottle. If you struggle with creasing under the eye when it comes time to apply concealer there, make sure you are not putting foundation there. I do keep that place pretty blank. That way I don't put too much product and it reduces the amount of creasing that shows up. It looks very skin-like. Very skin-like, I would say. Would I compare this very easily to the Makeup by Mario? Honestly, in terms of just like how it blends out, I would say yeah, it looks pretty good. And especially with the primer there, I feel like the primer is definitely helping bring that radiance through. I do want to talk about some other drugstore foundations that you might enjoy. For one, the L'Oreal True Match. I would be shade N10 in that. That is a very tried and true foundation. Everybody loves that foundation, I feel like. Two complexion brands that people also enjoy that I don't is NYX and e.l.f. I did try the Buttermilk Glaze by NYX that does have a SPF 30 in it. This is shade 8 in Nutmeg Butter. Honestly, no. It is so bad. Like the shade, something is just off about the shade. When it comes to talking about these affordable products in general, it is about finding the particular product within that brand that works for you. I am not usually going to look into e.l.f. or NYX for complexion products in general. I just feel like they don't really hit. Sometimes the colors just can be a bit off. The e.l.f. liquid filter has been the only one that I could just like use. I think in terms of complexion products, for real, you are looking for the Maybelline, L'Oreal, Juvia's Place. And I do also watch Just Shanine. I think a lot of you guys watch Just Shanine as well. I'll put her video right here. She made a shade twin video and I did use this as a guide for certain foundations that I've never used before because we are relatively close. Only some brands are a little bit off. We're gonna go in with the Juvia's Place concealer under the eye for some brightening to even out some skin tone, and then I'll talk to you about some more concealers as well that you might enjoy. I think that you might enjoy, in addition to Juvia's Place, we have the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. This is a multi-use concealer, fuzz ball thing on the top, which kind of gives me the ick in my opinion. It's a little weird, but I do see that the girls are enjoying this concealer, and this is a very natural finish concealer. If you just needed to just like cover up or spot conceal or something really quick, this seems like a really good formula to do something like that. The L'Oreal Infallible or the L'Oreal True Match concealers, the girls are also loving. Obviously, I am using the Infallible foundation on my face right now, and it's great. But I do know that L'Oreal's complexion products, the beauties are loving, they are enjoying. A brand that a lot of people will use and talk positively about is Milani. I am not a big fan of Milani. I don't have to even pick up the products to know that I'm not a big fan. I did watch I Am Krista Nicole's quick get ready with me. She left her makeup at home and she needed to run to the store and buy a full face of makeup. Every single Milani product I feel like she picked up was just trash. None of it had great color payoff. None of it was really doing anything. It didn't seem like the formulas were very great in general. So maybe there are select products in Milani that are great, but for me, Let's do some contour on the nose, on the cheeks, and really get this look cleaned up. I put the bronzer on. I'm pulling it all the way up the bridge, all the way up the nose into the eyebrow. And that is how you get that sculpted look. And that's what I mean. Like, I'm just gonna put it there, and then I'm gonna blend it out. Right there in the middle of the nose. Bronzer pulled up and blended out. Gonna go in with my blush brush. Take this shade down here and just buff it into my face here. where I already see the natural contour of my face, I will go in with the contour. As I'm watching this footage back, I am noticing that I just genuinely am not a big fan of powdered contour, powdered bronzers in general. I do want a bronzer to probably be a liquid or a cream. This, I'm sure, will be great for the oily skin girls, combo, anything like that. But for me, it wasn't, for one, giving enough pigment. Genuine opinion, I know it's not drugstore, but the Fenty matchsticks, if you can get the minis, then you can get a contour and a highlighter for 30 bucks. Each one is 15 technically, and that's not bad, is it? Juvia's Place is obviously a beautiful palette, and you can still see the pigment on my skin. I just would prefer a different formula. So Fenty matchsticks takes the cake for me, honestly. So with all the products on my face so far, I feel like it looks pretty good. We're gonna go in with some blush now, and then we'll set. And we're gonna go in with the Juvia's Place brush in Pink Passion. I saw this, I believe this is a new release. I'm gonna take this sponge, take like that, and right up there. Ooh, like we know, Juvia's Place is not playing when it comes to pigment. So I don't even know why I put that much. It's okay, I'll just move it over to the other side. But it's okay, we'll blend it out all the way. I could have went with a liquid blush, which is very popular and trending right now. For example, the e.l.f. or the Rare Beauty blushes. But I did want to get a cream blush to have. I had an old e.l.f. one before that I remember I really enjoyed. And obviously the color payoff and the pigment on Juvia's Place's blushes, everyone has been talking about. So I feel like before I applied this blush, it was giving kind of dry. We got the bonnet. Let's put the bonnet on because I just like to make sure I don't ruin my bang when I do this. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna go in and do brows now. When it comes to brows, I am a simple girl. In terms of affordable products, I do use the e.l.f. one. And I feel like, honestly, the e.l.f. one is great for even just making like hair-like strokes. As brow pencils have gotten more popular, people really like the very thin things that make very hair-like strokes. But I feel like this little $3 eyebrow thing works just fine. And then I go in with the e.l.f. clear one on top. I definitely don't feel like I need to spend a premium on eyebrow or whatever products. Even when I get my eyebrows done, all I do is just like fill in like the tail end a little bit and then I'm done. So for finishing touches, we're going to do some highlighting. I use the Diamond Bomb line from Fenty Beauty when it comes to highlighters usually. I love how diffused these are in terms of more higher end, but I don't usually buy highlighters drugstore in general because let me show you the difference of what a high-end highlighter versus what a more lower-end highlighter looks like. Look at how many carats applies versus this e.l.f. one. As you can see, the e.l.f. one is very clearly just like a shimmer that just like stays consistent throughout, as opposed to the Fenty Beauty highlighters or Diamond Bomb line that is very diffused. The sparkles are not cohesive, and that also makes the look better in my opinion. So I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. one. I've had this probably since like 2012, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. And it still has incredible pigment and plenty of product to use. I should probably stick this inside of a sandwich bag so that it stops being exposed to the elements. But I'm gonna go in on the inner corner, just like that. And you see how it just like brightens up the eye? It is a very golden hue, so I'm not mad at that. Gold and silver works great on my skin tone because I am neutral. And I just have to make sure I diffuse it out with the brush to make sure it doesn't look too thick, doesn't look too much, to make it look very effortless. On the nose, tip of nose, and then some on the Cupid's bow. And then I'll take my concealer brush and just brush it up. Wow. I'm gonna go in one more time with the setting spray. My favorite setting spray is the MAC Fix Plus. This one is beautiful, even without makeup, I love it. This is the Makeup Revolution Super Fix Hydra Cool Dewy Fixing Mist. Makeup Revolution definitely has been, you know, basically falling off, and hopefully they can make a cute little comeback. This is a great setting spray, as you can see. I feel like it gives the same effect as the MAC Fix Plus, even comparative to the Sephora makeup setting spray that has a dewy finish, or the Charlotte Tilbury, which is supposed to have a dewy, bright finish. Like, this is honestly better than both of these, in my opinion. And I feel like this is on par with the Fix Plus. And for me, that's saying something. I do want to talk about some oil-friendly setting sprays. I do know that One Size is a very popular setting spray amongst the oily girlies and the matte girlies that love that type of look. If you are looking for something that is going to be similar to One Size but isn't as expensive, look into the NYX setting spray, the glue one. That one they are comparing to One Size. Also, the L'Oreal Infallible. It's in a red can. I'm seeing that all over TikTok as well. I'm not sure if it's actually gonna live up to the hype, but it's definitely worth looking into if you are an oily skin girly looking for a setting spray. And as far as powders go, this Makeup Revolution setting powder just sucks. I think the only way I'll be able to get away with using or buying powders, because I'm a dry skin girl, is going into Sephora and paying a little more for it, like using the Laura Mercier and things like that. Those are the only powders I've learned that really don't dry out my skin or actually have a nice shade to it. But I do want to mention that a very popular pressed powder, if you struggle with creasing underneath your eyes or creasing in general, use a pressed powder. Use that Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder. I think you'll be surprised at what it can do. If there's anything I've learned, I felt like I was forced to use powders on my concealers in order to keep them from creasing, but I've learned I just need to use less concealer. I genuinely feel like adding powder most of the time doesn't even help. It only really helps when I add it to my lids. Another finishing touch I'm going to do is highlight my beauty marks, basically. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. liquid liner to do that. Even when it comes to eyeliner, I do use the e.l.f. liquid liner, which is, as we know, very affordable. And they do look pretty shiny, but I'll just let it dry down. Sometimes I'll just like take a brush and just like dab it, but that is the finished look. Can you tell which look is drugstore and which one is more high-end? This is the makeup after a few hours of wear. I am currently having a small allergic reaction on my face from not cleaning my brushes, so I am going to shower after this, but I did want to show you the full wear and that it is beautiful even out in the sun, honestly. This is also your reminder to clean your brushes. Please let me know down below if you agree or if you disagree. I won't get offended, I promise. And I'm also all ears for we to try some other brands as well, so please leave them all down below. Have you tried the e.l.f. blushes? Do you feel like they're better? Do you love Juvia's Place as well? I would love to know all of your opinions as well, so please leave them down below and let me know if you agree, if you disagree, and whether or not you were able to tell whether this was that affordable makeup or that high-end makeup, okay? Regardless, leave your comments down below and I will see you in our next video. Bye.